Think back 5 years. Nokia and BlackBerry dominated mobile. Phone, email and SMS were how friends and family kept in touch. CNN broke world news. Film was mostly watched on TV and DVD, while gaming required expensive consoles, and practically nobody owned a tablet. Today, that reads iOS and Android dominates mobile. Facebook is how friends and family keep in touch. Twitter breaks world news. Netflix and YouTube dominates the video space. iOS is the leading gaming platform, and tablet sales are pushing computer sales down the drain. Oh, and Nokia and BlackBerry hardly exist anymore. The pace of change today is ruthless. To be big is no insulation for failure and disruption. Rather, being a big older company is a handicap due to legacy technology, legacy procedure, attitudes and culture, and the well-known inventor's dilemma. Well-known tech news host Leo Laporte recently said that a technology company must reinvent itself every 5th year to stay relevant. Why is that? Partly because of the fast pace of disruption and innovation. That means that you're either a leader or scrambling to follow. Partly it's because the rapid change in customer behavior and expectations. Technology today has less to do with function and more to do with self-statement, because technology are no longer a scarcity. As customers, we can choose from many suppliers to get the desired function. Mature sectors like telecom are mostly in a negative reaction market response. That means that regardless of what the customers have bought and paid for, they expect the service to live up to their expectation and just work. Otherwise, they will be disappointed and share that disappointment publicly. There are basically 3 ways to change this negative reaction market response into a positive one. And what does a positive market response mean? It means that the feeling the customer have for the service or the product or the brand is that so positive that they might glaze over any shortcomings that they find. One method is to build and design such a great products that customers are delighted. This requires focus, prioritization and attention to detail. When Steve Jobs came back to Apple, he decreased the Apple products from hundreds to 10. When the first iPhone launched, the customer delight with the product glazed over that it essentially was a rather crappy phone, but it was a great app platform. And today, with the uptake of cheaper Android platforms and devices, the doomsdayers are circling Apple. But Apple still understands that design and delight is their way forward. They have made Johnny Ives, their hardware designer, in charge of all design services, both hardware and software. And they also hired Angela Arendt to manage their entire retail experience. Angela Arendt is the legendary CEO of Burberry, who changed Burberry from an old studio brand into a fashion powerhouse and increasing their revenue, I think 100 times almost. And visible technology today, regardless if it's a phone, a self-tracking device or a smart box, is a fashion statement and a design product that tells the world a story about you. The second way to change a negative reaction market response into a positive one is to extend the platform network value through sharing and platform extensions. The reason companies like Dropbox and Evernote are growing so fast, not only among consumers but also among businesses, are that you can super easily share a file, a folder or a notebook with anyone. But it's also that you can just as easily automate the input into your Dropbox or into your Evernote notebook through API integration. And hundreds of sites can save or send information into your Dropbox or your Evernote. And both companies have also extensively worked with viral adoption tactics, like invite a friends and get 2 gigs of extra space for free. The third way to change a negative reaction response into positive is through values. While 1 billion people use Facebook, few love it. That means an uncertain future because the amount of people that will gladly jump ship as soon as a better alternative presents itself. The reason people don't like Facebook has nothing to do with the product, and everything to do with their disregard for privacy. In comparison, Google can screw up, but is forgiven due to their informal motto of "don't be evil." In the same ring corner we find Twitter, who have publicly opposed various regimes that are trying to squelch free speech, but also worked proactively against patent trolls. After this summer's Snowden revelations, we see great divides in ethics among different companies. And ordinary people are starting to ask what information companies are giving about them to authorities. We saw everything from Google's insistence that they only give out information with a court order, and they also transparently and publicly report what kind of court orders are asked, to Microsoft that has built in an NSA backdoor into their software, no questions asked. So, to recap, how is Telia making products or services that delight me, regardless if I'm a small business user, a corporate user or a consumer, that are so delightful that I can glaze over any technical shortcomings or disappointments? Or how can you create such network extensions that you are indispensable to me? Or lastly, how can you create such good values that makes me both look good and feel good? And how do you need to structure and organize a company that needs to reinvent itself every 5th year to stay relevant? In 5 years' time, ultra-portable HUD devices like glasses and contact lenses are springing to the forefront of the mobile market. We might see in-car high-capacity broadband to be the new thing. It's guaranteed that we will not use Facebook but another network to chat with our friends. We will probably get our news through a completely personalized news service based on big data analysis. 3D virtual gaming will be the shit, and you probably have a 3D printer quite close to you somewhere. Oh, and broadcast scheduled TV is going down the drain. But most of all, everybody will be in the limelight. And our choices will be scrutinized as extensions of ourselves. Self-actualization and self-promotion will not only be a luxury response according to the Maslow pyramid, but also a survival strategy. My knowledge and skills are no longer the only thing that is important to survive, but also my values and my network. So, how does choosing Telia over another brand help me to achieve a positive public image that makes me more successful? Thank you.